The Search for the Cure, Episode 2, Attempting to Find Safe Shelter and Housing for MCAS. I'm absolutely wore out. Most of the underpinning done for the camper. It's not the best looking situation, but it'll help keep the air off the pipes anyway. For the people that watch my videos, they probably remember that I used to own a 73 model Buddy mobile home. I completely remodeled and it didn't work, and I ended up buying a used RV. I agreed with my chemical sensitivities, but however, I had to learn the hard way that mostly all mobile homes and RV situations, they sweat and they condensate, and they're just high in humidity, and they're just problematic for mold issues. When I started taking this one apart, done some videos on it early on. I showed how layers of mold hide behind the outer skin and some of the fiberglass and the wood. It just collects a bunch of fungus, and it's just not good for a mold ill person or chemical sensitive person. Before my multiple chemical sensitivity had started, I've done everything I possibly could to make the 73 model Buddy mobile home work, but it seemed like no matter what I done, I just kept getting sicker. And when I got so sick that I couldn't finish it, I had contractors come in and finish the other half to make sure it wasn't any mold left in it. But just the nature of mobile homes, like I said, condensating, it just doesn't agree with mold illness. So first home, a failure. Second home, a failure. So it's either a metal building or van. Travel trailers and mobile homes, they tend to condensate, as I said before, and they're encapsulated. And anywhere moisture is, mold is. As you can see in the sink, even though I ain't used it on my t-shirt, the high humidity from the RV, it's just a petri dish for mold. And A-frame houses, you typically don't see that high humidity if they're well constructed, but I've tried dehumidifiers and all those things, and it doesn't do any good. You have to have the dehumidifier from the day or the time you buy it. A good example is like older homes. They had big A-frame roofs on them, and a lot of older barns, and they never had condensation issues because they was well ventilated. And that's why mold sick people, as I said before, MCS people, if the camper's too new, they have issues with the chemicals. If it's too old, it has mold. So that makes it very difficult. And no, I'm not living in the RV. I'm living in my car. With that out of the way, the next stepping stone, I believe, in my MCS journey is for the safe housing is either a van or a steel building. I know that with a steel building, that's going to run me probably $15,000 to $20,000 just to get it started. And then I have to make it livable by county code, so that's going to be another additional expense. So I was donated a van. Currently getting it cleaned up. I'm going to give it a try. I have another van, another prospect that I'm working on, purchasing it. Hopefully between the two, either one works. Just kind of starting with that. And it's not the ideal situation, but it's just temporary until I get my detox I get healed up, and hopefully once they hit that point, I'll be able to tolerate more, and then I can upgrade. But I believe this is a good place to start. So let's get back on what the episode's about. Safe housing. Wondering about how bad my respiratory or my allergy panel is. Here it is. I've had this my whole life, even before even having MCAS. Well, just got some bad news. My helper, he just come down with COVID-19. He had his test the other day. He was going to help me out with the van rip-out situation where I have the respiratory issues. As you may remember in my other videos, and probably mentioned in this video, my MCS is primarily respiratory, so I had to be very, very careful about what I'm in and what I'm stirring up. So prayers for him and his wife's healing. So now I'm going to go back on some other topics, and hopefully by the end of the video we can get back into the van rip out situation, because it's the main obstacle is getting into safe housing for myself or for my condition. So let them do their quarantine, and then we'll get back on track with that, and hopefully get that done. But just a slight delay. With that being said, I wanted to get on the subject of my grandmother's house for a second. It was redone roughly about 15 years ago, so it's well off gas, but the actual structure of it is sawmill cut lumber, and it's A-frame, it's well ventilated, it's no treated lumber in the walls. And when they took this house apart, as you can see in the pictures, there was not a speck of mold anywhere on any of the lumber. So my lungs is always right when I walk into a building. I know whether it's mold or not, even before tearing it apart. Even the humidity stays under 60% all times. Most of the time it's under 40%. But let's rewind to the camper when I stayed there. You can see my tear ducts bleeding. That's how allergic I was to the mold in that camper. The humidity in it would stay above 70% usually at all times. A quick flashback. This is the 73 model Buddy mobile home that I own. I mostly redone it before my onset of my MCAS. The walls was completely gutted. The ceiling was completely gutted from end to end. All the floors was gutted. And no matter what I'd done to this home, I still had issues. I couldn't stay there. I'm not sure if it was the off-gassing of the new lumber or the paint or the off-gassing of the sheetrock or what it was, but I completed the first half, and this was right when my MCS had started and my mold illness. And I had contractors come in to finish the second half, but all new floors, new walls, new insulation, new everything. And it was terribly heartbreaking after spending $20,000 in 2 years to build my dream home and not be able to stay in it due to my conditions. But that's the thing with MCS is you gotta, no matter how hard it gets or how difficult, if you have the financial means, you just gotta pick up the pieces and just walk away from it and go to the next thing, whether it's a camper, if it's a van, if it's the desert. But it was just an absolutely gorgeous mobile home when it was complete, but I can't help that it didn't agree with me, and the only thing I can do is just keep moving forward and keep searching for that magical thing that agrees with my lungs. During the process, I had it checked and no mold was left behind, and also I wore N95s prior to or while remodeling this, and I took all the safety precautions, trashed my clothes. I didn't take it to extremes, but this last clip you can see how bad my lungs was from the factory in doing this. Hey everybody, DNA Connections Lyme's test come in today. Sorry I say it was an S from the country, so I pronounced things wrong, but super excited about this. It was $650, but it was well worth it. I want to educate y'all a little bit about Lyme's testing. So the Western blot that you get at a hospital or you get at a laboratory, the Western blot only checks for one strain, and that strain is not even localized in Virginia or North Carolina, according to my mast cell activation syndrome doctor. So I ordered this, the DNA Connections. I had to pay out of pocket. It's $650, and it's checks for all 23 strains of Lyme disease. So, but basically all it is you open her up, you got your cool packet, you mail it out on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. It's a urine collection test. It says that red light sign was recommended before, but I hate to say this, but a lot of the traditional tests that you get in the hospital, or unless it's something major like a stroke or heart attack or etc., a lot of the major tests that you get in the hospital or a laboratory, a lot of those is crap. You got to pay the good money to get the good tests and get the good answers. So I figured I'd add this in the video, and hopefully the next episode, or maybe later on in this episode, we'll see what those results are and how long the van situation takes. Ready to do the hour drive to Galax, Virginia. It's the nearest drop-off for it's a UPS store there, so it's the nearest place I can drop off the DNA Connections, aka Lyme's test. So hopefully get that mailed, and I think it's 7 business days to 3 weeks, and then we'll have the results. received the hair analysis test. I had one before. My lithium was high. Getting a little walking in. Feel pretty good. Done some red light this morning. As many of y'all may know from my other videos and from functional medicine, the hair analysis test is something that's used to check your mineral levels, your toxic load, how many heavy metals that you've been exposed to that can contribute to your chemical sensitivity, or MCAS. It's been exactly about 8 months since my first test. I've been doing a lot of work, a lot of detox. So hopefully this will get some answers to see where we're at. Just got the Lyme's test, just got it mailed today at the park. It's absolutely beautiful. So let's get back on this van.
This night is cold in the kingdom. I can feel you fade away. From the kitchen to the bathroom sinking. Your steps keep me awake. Don't cut me down, throw me out, leave me here to waste. I once was a man with dignity and grace. Now I'm slipping through the cracks of your cold embrace. So please, please, could you find a way to let me down slowly? A little sympathy, I hope you can show me. If you wanna go, then I'll be so lonely. If you're leaving, baby, let me down slowly. Let me down, down, let me down, down, let me down, let me down, down, let me down, down, let me down. If you
Well, my MCS friends, it was another day of delays. Went by and checked on the van. Nothing was ripped out, so what I decided to do is I decided to put a little more peroxide in it, sprayed a little bit more. I was real careful about being in and everything, but since I got a lot of rest in today, I guess it'll be another EDTA pill tonight. So, hey everybody, today is November the 21st, 2021, and I have a really big surprise for everybody. So earlier in the episode, you see me take the DNA connections Lyme test, and I got my results back about 3 a.m. Not last night, but the night before. I'm just now getting to kind of go over it and look at everything. So here's my test result. Probably won't be able to see it on the screen, but I'm going to post it on the side. That way you better can see it. I am positive for some bacteria that's associated with Lyme disease. It was 3 different ones, and according to the test, it's one called IND, then it's MCAS, and basically what that is, it's an abbreviation after the bacteria that was found. So IND is like indicative of this bacteria. So that means the first test sample they run They find it. The second test sample they run, they didn't find it, so it's inconclusive for 2 of the bacterias. The last bacteria that they found, out of like the 7 or 8 that they check you for, it was under the category MCAS, and what that definition stands for in their terminology or medical terminology is they found it on 2 test runs. So I definitely have one type of Lyme bacteria in my body. They made a note below with that bacteria and the MPS that it was associated with chronic Lymes. Now, from my understanding, my question was, I never had a bullseye type rash. You don't have to have a bullseye type rash to have chronic Lyme. And the reason why I say that is from my studies and reading and talking to functional medicine and other doctors, even my mast cell activation syndrome doctor. You can get the bacteria through mosquito bites, spider bites, etc., etc. So this explains a whole lot and how this ties in with MCS and MCAS. I find that a lot of multiple chemical sensitive people, mast cell activation syndrome sufferers, they have some form of Lyme disease. And the treatments that I'm on, so I know some people take chelation for Lyme, that's good. Other people use the powder that I showed you before. Let's see, I actually have it with me. Let's see, I'll get it. Let's see, that powder right there. And what it does is it also helps detox that bacteria. So it might be another reason why I see benefits from the chelation and some of the other medications that I've been on. Now, it doesn't come to a surprise. I used to run random fevers as a child. Sometimes I get up too fast, my vision will go black. Chronic hypertension when I was younger, still battle that off and on. With Lyme disease, it's also intolerances to certain foods. People report weird intolerances to like milk, sugar, all the things that we've already talked about in this video that I'm not going to go back over. Some develop tomato allergies, which I developed tomato allergy about 5 years ago. So that's another stepping stone. Take this video as like your multiple chemical sensitivity Bible, is cause and effect, my friends. That's, you gotta know your causes to know your effects to know your treatments. I just took my 7th EDTA pill last night. I feel pretty good. I hadn't done red light in about 2 or 3 days. I did have a few cheat meals. I had a Wendy's rice, so I felt a little bad from that because it's processed. You want to stay away from processed when you have Lyme's or multiple chemical sensitivity, mast cell activation. All that stuff's bad for. And I did have a little bit of sugar. I had a tiny Mountain Dew, so that kind of flared my inflammation up a little bit. So all that's no. So just don't take it as medical advice, but read what I say more so than what I do, kind of thing. But it doesn't surprise me. I used to have leg tremors as a child. There was one incident I remember. It was one spring. The pollen was pretty bad, and I ran a temperature of 105.3, and my parents almost had to take me to the hospital. They had to put ice on me and get my body temperature down. So doesn't surprise me, so I'm going to add that in there. So the test is DNA Connections. It's the 2021. It was rated the most accurate Lyme test in the United States or the world. I might be, correct me if I'm wrong on that, but I know in the United States. So if it's Lyme's there, or Lyme bacteria, usually it's pretty good. They do recommend provocation before taking a test. And what that means is provocation is you're doing physical exercise, or you're doing red light, or you're doing some means to kind of stir up the bacteria, and that way when you urinate in a cup, it's more likely for the analyzer to show up or show that the bacteria is there. So that's another reason why I preach the red light therapy to the people that can tolerate it, because see, when you're sick and you run a fever, your body raises its temperature to kill out the virus or the bacteria in your body. That's what being sick is. And when our immune systems don't work correctly, sometimes that doesn't turn on and turn off the way it should. And when you have a chronic infection like Lyme, you know, your body may go in that state to where it's not running the temperature anymore, and the bacteria is just kind of floating around your body. It's kind of running rampant. It's causing issues, and you don't know why you feel tired, or you don't know why you have this condition, or etc. But anyway, back in the provocation, the red light works really great for bacteria like this, because it works just like your fever. You're heating the inside of your body, and what it's doing, it's helping kill that bacteria, whether it be in your chest or your gut or whatever, your problem area. My most sensitive area for multiple chemical sensitivity is respiratory. If I didn't have respiratory issues, I probably wouldn't even know I had chemical sensitivity. The inflammation stuff and all the other things, I probably wouldn't pay attention to it. But provocation before, they've done a video on like the steps that you need to do before the red light. I think it's also good, like I said, for Lyme because of that reason, because you're raising your core body temperature temporarily. It helps kill that bacteria. I know after I use it, it helps me, so that might be the reason why. You know, the whole reason I might have got this way is I might have had underlying Lyme, and then when I went to work for my manufacturer, the heavy metals impaired my body's ability or immune system to fight off infections or whatever. Not going great in detail on that, but impairing mineral levels and et cetera. But yeah, hopefully all that kind of explains. But so not only am 2-year multiple chemical sensitivity survivor, possible mast cell activation syndrome survivor. I've been diagnosed, but it may just be overactive mast cells from all the things that I have wrong, like the Lyme and the multiple chemical sensitivity. So you don't know whether it's mast cell activation syndrome or just aggravated mast cells from the co-infections. Number 3 that I like to go over real fast is excuse me, being that I have the Lyme, that's number 3. So that's 3: multiple chemical sensitivity, mast cell activation syndrome, and the Lyme. So I'm a survivor of all 3, and all these kind of go hand in hand. I don't know if I'm saying this correctly, like the ivermectin, it kills out parasites as prescription. Getting ready to start that. I heard that holds some Lyme bacteria. So I think all the regimens and stuff still need to stay the same, since I'm doing better or improving. I'm about 30% right now. I can walk in a store for about 40 minutes to an hour without a mask before having trouble. Before I couldn't. I was basically housebound, as you may remember in my other videos. So keep working at it. My ultimate goal is I would love to go back to work eventually, and I'm going to keep working hard as I possibly can. So God bless. Hey, hope you're well. If you liked the video, please give it a like, share, and subscribe. I just started a Facebook page. It's called Multiple Chemical Sensitivity, The Search for the Cure. If you enjoyed the content, please join that group, and let's all get together and be a part of the fight, and that way we all can hopefully get well and heal. Thank you, and God bless.